but we're very concerned on every level about what's going on at our southern border. You know Texas well, Mr. Secretary. You know that we love immigrants, we love immigration. Texas and America are the two greatest, most successful experiments in civil society in the history of the world because we understand diversity properly understood. And the point is that I would submit to you the new administration's and its policy is really beginning to interfere with that. So high level again, before we get into some of the detail, what do you think the answer is to the current border crisis?
So I think we had it. I think we grasped this nearly perfectly, and while we executed in a bumpy way, we ultimately got there. We had courts challenging some of the work that we did, but in the end, we got the policy right. What is that? It's the central understanding of American sovereignty and the central understanding of America and its founding principles about when people want to come to the United States, we want to encourage that. We want them to do so in a way that is consistent with our understanding of rules and the law. I'll never forget a great story. I was a member of Congress a long time ago now, and would have people call in from Europe and say, hey, how do I get to America? And, you wanted to say to them,
sure,
boy, I know it's frustrating. You're in the 9th year waiting on the list. We can't allow that to happen. That is deeply inconsistent with who we are. And so we took the idea of American sovereignty and the fact that we wanted to know what was coming across our border, who was coming on across our border for all the reasons, terrorism, narcotics, all the things that we know. And then we implemented it. I spent a lot of time with Marcelo Ebrard, my foreign minister counterpart down in Mexico, former mayor of Mexico City, working out a system that worked for the United States, for Mexico, and for El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala as well. An intricate set of rules that said, if you want to apply for asylum, there's a set of rules, comply with them. But while you're waiting, you're going to remain in Mexico. Yeah. We call it the MPP, but it's become known as remain in Mexico. And it was just this understanding that that's the appropriate way for international law to recognize asylum claims. And it worked. It turned the magnet off for the United States and avoided what you see today, which is, I watch these pictures. I haven't had a chance to get down there, but you watch these pictures. It's a national security crisis on our southern border. It is a deep humanitarian crisis. I talked to lots of people who had tried to make that journey and were unsuccessful, and the horrors that they experienced from the coyotes and the cartels that were trafficking them across the border. This isn't in America's best interest. It's not in Mexico's best interest, and it's certainly not in the best interest of these people who are in difficult situations in Central America who simply want a better life.